Progress.
Hmm. Please join me in. If your eyes are already closed, let them stay closed. But if you're still open, take a moment to look around, to see to see into these little windows. Hmm. This is our company this morning. This is our sangha. These are our compatriots in this willingness to awaken to life. If we dare to let our eyes pause for a moment on any one person, we then can notice whatever judgments, whatever evaluations the mind has. And it's a very conditioned phenomenon in the mind. But we can scratch a millimeter at a millimeter. We can stretch a lifetime deeper. And what do you see? Right? Here's another human being making their way through this utter instability that we think of as a lifetime. And if we dare, it'll touch our hearts. We can somehow transcend or burrow beneath our separateness and see who we are in our greater self. And it doesn't need to be some kind of cosmic transition. It's the same perceptions, but the meaning of everything changes when we dare to let our hearts be open. Jargon, let our hearts be open. Let ourselves see and be seen. So please let us now become aware of the mystery and miracle of mindfulness. To notice that which knows of this body sitting here touching the chair. To notice that this body breathes. It does breathe. And each breath each breath manifests the signature truth of life. It has a beginning, a rising to fullness, and then a decline and disappearance. The same is true of thoughts. We like to say they're my thoughts. Are they? So we come together to take some time to open. We might remind ourselves of the refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The refuge in being awake, the refuge in the way things actually are. And think the magnitude of that. I aspire to accept life exactly as it is. Whew, what a backpack that is to put down. And to take refuge in Sangha, in the lineage of transition of this beautiful teaching down through time and the community gathered together here. Let us bask in the silence. Notice the song of the mind, perhaps with the hindrances singing of desire and disliking and restlessness and agitation and sloth and torpor and doubt, and the play of emotions and mood. Let us bow down at the altar of awareness. Become profoundly curious about what's happening. sitting here on the bank of the river of life. A breath comes and goes. Thoughts appear and then disappear. Opinions, responses, reactions appear and disappear. So many opinions. Fears appear and disappear. Is everything going to be okay? No. Is everything already okay? Yes. Sometimes the river seems to make sense and is very clear, predictable, safe-ish. Sometimes there's chaos. Sometimes there's doubt. Sometimes there's certainty. We can remember this potent strategy from the Buddha. As long as there's a body, there is in-breathing and out-breathing. And so we stabilize here with in-breathing and out-breathing and cultivate the aspiration to accept that which we discover exactly as it is. We could be more linear and say, I aspire to be a true scientist and accept my data, accept my observations. The experiment of life shows this: a breath begins and ends. A thought thinks itself into being. My back aches. The back aches. And so we honor the present moment and each other with our presence. everybody. I'm hearing some odd pulsing static at my end. Is that coming through there? Yes? Huh? No idea what it's from. Stopped. Mostly. Oh well, there we have it. Thank you for coming to practice together today. Very potent thing to do. I will most probably not be with you tomorrow morning. Jim will be at the helm. Jennifer's going away for a few days, and I'm taking her to the airport at exactly this time. Also, announcement-wise, on Saturday night at 6 o'clock, it's movie time, and the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee of PIMC invites you to participate in the, what's it called, Mission Joy, video movie of the Dalai Lama and Dr. Desmond Tutu. I have not seen it, but it sounds like a wonderful thing. And we're going to have popcorn, and we will be masking still. I'm not sure what's going to happen on around masking. The research is continuing to be done by Dan Leaf is our representative in that, board representative looking into that. We'll find out what he found today. BQN, I love that. Happens on Sunday nights with monotonous regularity. 7 o'clock, right, Kat?
6:30.
6:30, great. You want to say anything about that phenomenon?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Be Queer Now is our queer affiliated, no, PIMC affiliated queer meditation group. Sorry, feels early all of a sudden. And it's 6:30 to 8 every Sunday evening. We have a really beautiful core group of people who keep coming. We have about a 45-minute sit and then 45 minutes for discussion of anything from pets to the Four Noble Truths to everything. So it's a really lovely group. Please come by if you identify anywhere along the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. We'd love to see you there. I'll put the link in the chat.
You want to say anything about marketing a dog?
We have a couple meet and greets today, but thank you. We also have a really, this is personal, not related to Be Queer Now. How about you go, Shan? It's your dog.
So, yeah, I have two dogs. One is a cattle dog, Ridgeback mix, and one is a husky. Well, when Kat and I got together a few months ago, it became obvious that my cattle dog mix is not good with my partner's kids, and just with the energy and whatnot. And so I'm having to rehome her, and we are interviewing potential new owners and having her meet them. But ideally, she'd be best with a 1 or 2 adult household, and with kind of low energy, low traffic. She's okay with cats and mellow dogs, but yeah. So if anybody knows anybody, it'd be great to connect her with somebody that would love her very well. She's 6 this month and is all up to date on shots and has been spayed and microchipped and all of that. So I rescued her about just under 6 years ago, and in December 2015.
When
Yeah, something like that. And anyway, she's a great companion. She's like my shadow, so it's really hard for me to, see her go, but we have to do it. So
Thank you.
Put Shannon's email in the chat.
So, hello, Anthony. Oh, he just left. Hello and goodbye. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? What was that E. E. Cummings poem? Worlds are made of hello and goodbye, glad, sorry, and both, big, little, and all. But we've the May to sing, my darling. I just remember those few lines. Worlds are made of hello and goodbye, glad, sorry, and both, big, little, and all. So, is there anything you would like to bring to the hearts of our community? And a time check. I do need to end at 8 this morning for my own schedule.
Good morning, Robert and Sangha. It's Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Hi. So I wanted to thank you for sending that video, the Buddha Museum. I finally got to look at it, and it's pretty amazing.
Isn't it astounding?
I was curious what your thoughts and feelings were when you were going through that museum.
I was pretty happy. I was having a vacation day with Frank. We'd gone to, I can't remember the name of the little town, but it's very close to Traubach. And we had an incredible breakfast at the B&B we were in. And then and he told me that he had a secret he had something he was going to take me to when I was in Germany, and that he wouldn't tell me what it was till we got there. And I thought it was going to be a guitar museum or something. I just didn't know. And then we pulled up at this rather large building. I mean, it's a big place.
Yeah,
and it said, Buddha Museum. And it's simply gorgeous. The way they have positioned and gathered and grouped the different images, and I mean, there's some of the images, I don't know that I put any of them in, from village Buddhas from Cambodia, for instance, old, that really look, they're very, quote, primitive in their carving. And then there's those, I don't know how tall are those, the 12 or 15 foot high ones from wherever they are, with all the delicate, and some of those, there's one image of Kuan Yin in royal ease, lying on her side, actually. It's white, and that's in the slideshow, and it's really, I mean, my jaw dropped a bunch of times. They come around a corner, it's like, holy shit. How have they, now, and down in the basement, there's a whole layer which is kind of largish gravel. And then all the Buddhas are sitting on this large gravel. And then there's 5 of them together. And it's the most beautiful collection of that kind of art anywhere, I think. So anyone who, I can maybe do it quickly here. I can put the link in the chat. It's also on robertbeatty.com. Oh, it's right here. Good. I didn't. And the pictures that I selected here are but a taste of what's there.
Yeah.
It's quite something. And while I was there, they had a beautiful selection of, wonder where it's gone to. I think it must be in the house, of gongs. And I purchased a new gong for the Dharma Hall, which has yet to make it to the Dharma Hall, but really good. Not very big. It's not as deep as the one I have here, but it's a beauty. And the one we have in the Dharma Hall right now is kind of clunky. So there's a nice reminiscence of that place. Yeah, I put the link in the chat. And of course, the context in which it exists. Maybe I can do this. I'll just take the moment and do it here. This will not work for those of you that are on Zoom. Or not on Zoom, on Facebook and YouTube, but I recommend you come over to Zoom. Come where the real people are. Maybe I can't do this. Oh, here we are. I got to move this over to the other side. If it'll move, come on. Oh, it's not going to move. Oh, it's trying. Oh, come on. My computer is doing something very weird this morning. I need to shut it down. There's too many things open. Well, let me see if can I do it here? Oh, boy. Oh, come on. Oh, there, that's better. All right. This is the context. Before that, after that, here. All right. Let me see if I can do this. Get back into Zoom. All right. Share screen. Oh, no, that's not it. Here it is. Let's see if it'll work. Do you have pictures on your screen? Somebody?
Yes, there are pictures on the screen.
All right. This is the context of the Buddha Museum. It's the Mosel River Valley, and it's these are very special ducks. On bridges, I love bridges, but there was a picture here I wanted to show you of. Well, it never works to do this. Just pick it up. It does it. Anyway, I'll just show you this. Here's an example of the display. I mean, it's just stunning, isn't it? So that's enough for now. But the Mosel River Valley is an art piece, really. They've been growing wine there, wine grapes, for hundreds of years. They run the rows of grapes up and down the hills. What a hell of a job to work there. Jeez. I mean, I don't know what the altitude gets. Probably 800, 900, 1,000 foot altitude. And every row goes all the way up. Just to prune 2 rows would wipe me out for a week. So, what's happening for you folks? Anything you'd like to share? Of the 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows.
Hi, Robert. It's Liam.
Hi, Leanne.
Yes, hi. I don't know what it is in my personality that compels me to ask things like this, but what could possibly make this Buddha Museum okay? It just feels like this art and this craft from Asia, and then it's all stuck in one place in Europe. I don't know. There's something about it that just feels so culturally off.
I can hear that.
Is it a place of respect for the Buddha or teachings of the Buddha, or is there any conveyance of the philosophy, or?
I don't know.
You didn't
I didn't
encounter that.
see a lot of that. I of course brought oceans of reverence, and so it felt to me like a place that really nourished me. But I can understand. I mean, why go anywhere except why go anywhere to see anything except the trees in my backyard? Because it's here. But we humans do this. We gather together objects of beauty, and we
do. We do.
We at least these I don't think were stolen. They were. It talked about his process of purchasing them from all over the place, and So here's one person with lots of wealth who gathered something together, and we could be critical of that easily.
I'm just thinking culturally, though. I mean, I just really feel like the way that the West has taken Buddhism, really, and myself included, it's like, boy, we really need to think about that. I don't know.
Well, what do you mean the way you've taken Buddhism into a pretty serious practice? It seems to me. I mean, you're
Well, I
very
don't,
self-reflective.
But you think of the generations of peoples who undoubtedly persecuted, suffered, to support this um, belief system and all of it in Asia. And then we've sort of like, hey, it's ours. Okay, cool. I don't know. I think of all those artisans to whom some probably had no relationship to the Buddha, others where that was a real uh, practice to create those objects. And in other cases, no doubt, laborers who were exploited or whatever. It's just so complicated culturally that I just think it bears reflection, the need for reflection. And, like Myanmar and everything that's happening there, and like, do I do anything about it? Those people like devoted their generations of heritage, and we're kind of like, thanks, and on we go. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel like I am living up to this, whatever ideal is of, I don't know it goes so far as cultural appropriation, but it certainly is a massive cultural collection of generations of centuries of, Asia in all of its many places where Buddhism flourished. And I don't know, it's sort of like we just step away from it. That's my sense in the West with Buddhism. Is just like okay, there it is. Okay, now we're going to go do what we're going to do. And I don't know how to rectify that. I don't have any sense of it, but it just feels necessary to think about at least.
Well, thank you for that. I do know how I make sense of it. Not so much the museum per se, but it is my deepest aspiration to be a Gnostic intermediary, meaning that I have dived deeply into Buddhism in Asia and that I have made myself it. And my entire life has been devoted really to the transmission of my deepest understanding of that to as many people as I've been able. And really what other people are doing with Buddhism, and I mean, there's so many Buddhisms, and some of them don't reflect at all what the Buddha taught, in my observation. Buddhism has evolved profoundly and has I would say, in Buddha, it's lost its way pretty profoundly in Burma, in Myanmar. Those monks that are preaching, they could be Hitler, some of those monks. And there's no way of stopping them. There's no political structure and so on to stop them. But how do I say this? My sphere of influence does not extend to the person who brought these Buddhas over. It doesn't extend to Myanmar. It doesn't extend even to other Buddhist communities in Portland. That's not my sphere of influence. Is really here, and I don't have the bandwidth to toil about all kinds of things. I don't have the bandwidth to toil about the things that are all on the TV. I can just barely get by in my own life with the people that I actually have contact with. And so there's any number of concerns and cultural misappropriations and so on that I simply can't deal with. And I work very hard at just taking so many things like that. I could worry about that. Well, thank you very much. I'm not going to worry about that because I want to be here. And so one could criticize, and you can certainly easily criticize me. Anyone with an activist perspective will be appalled by my perspective. But I'm not. My activism is inner, and encouraging people to really transform their consciousness and to learn to love the person who sits across the breakfast table. And it's not. I'm no longer interested in political activism or going to marches and things like. It's just not my realm. So I'm glad you're carrying the banner of concern about the museum, and I'm happy to listen to that perspective, and I think it's really important. And I hope when you want to put it down, it just goes away. So that when you're sitting quietly, you can go quiet. Which I guess is, I've gotten in hot water about this numerous times, that I say, this is my opinion, personal opinion. I say to activists, if you can't sit with a quiet mind and love your opponents, then your activism is dangerous. And so sit more.
I'm not talking opponents here. I'm talking when we who have privilege are confronted, are asked to consider the ramifications of that we do so and really deeply try to do that.
What would that look like in terms of behavior? What for instance, what could I do? I drop into Germany, my friend takes me to see a beautiful museum. What would I do differently? I lost you.
Well, you could
Where'd you
think
go?
about, what if the Buddha were there? What would he think?
What would he think? He'd probably say, why are you here in this museum? Go sit in the garden.
Didn't the Buddha say no statues of me?
That's true. He did. Right.
Yeah.
He
So
said,
what would?
what the hell are you doing with all
Who would
these
say, yeah,
statues? Yeah,
What the hell
probably
are
that's
you doing
true.
with all these?
I mean, I think every time, I know this so well because I am like so defensive in my personality. And it can be the slightest of things that somebody says they don't appreciate about what I'm doing or question. So that's an initial response. But I really think that there's a bigger issue here about, it's about how the community, its diversity, it's all of that. And we all want to say, well, I'm doing what I can. And I feel like I'm not doing what I can. Clearly I could do more and I'm not. But I just feel like we owe it to the world to think about how we have benefited from the lives and hardships of others, and what we might do differently is another question.
Well, I can certainly see and feel how this affects you and how important it is.
I wish it affected you differently. Sorry. We'll have to have a talk about this sometime.
I'm willing. Yeah. Yeah.
I just think it's our responsibility, and I hate it. I mean, every pore in me just would like to think it's okay and go on and forget about it, but I can't.
Hmm.
Well,
Well,
Leanne, maybe you're having trying to work through a creative vision. I see you in the visionary sphere here that doesn't fit with the reality that we all have. And it's very creative. It brings in the collective, it brings in history and culture. So I'd say keep at it. Keep meditating and creating.
well, I must go. I have a deadline I got to get to. But thank you, Leanne. I'm happy to engage with you around this. So let's do our, this is our culturally appropriated chant from 2,600 years ago from the Mangala Sutta. May all beings receive all blessings. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Goodbye, dear friends. Thanks for being here today. See you.
Thank you, Robert.
I may see you tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's going to be necessary.
Happy day, all.
Bye
Be well, Sandra. Be well.
bye. So where is Facebook? Facebook and YouTube.